fast Gruppe C-Style von früher, aber LMP3, das sind hochmoderne Fahrzeuge, V8-Motoren drin, unglaublich schnell, unglaublich spektakulär. Ja, es sind leider nur 9 Fahrzeuge.
Viciada aqui é só pentada,
Hello everyone, welcome along to the Nürburgring for the second weekend of Prototype Cup Europe, and this is race number 1. We are getting our cars already ready to go racing. This is the formation lap, and we will be rolling and racing for 55 minutes in a few moments time with a grid of 9 cars. And here is how the grid lines up, with JMS of Catalano and Sufi on the pole position alongside Clausen and Puschkel, with Aust Motorsport and Larea GT1 on row 2. This is qualifying result race 1, and the grid set by that. The BWT Muka Motorsport number 18, with Larsen qualifying that car on row 3 alongside Linus Hellberg, his brother Emil alongside on the Ala Racing 48 machine, with the Ades of Purple Sector on row number 4, and the car that had a few problems in qualifying from number 27 in 9th spot. My name is Ben Costanjuris, and I have Peter Snowden alongside me. And Peter, we are about to go racing straight away. Not a very quick, not a very slow turnaround for these guys, as we had a slight delay in the last race, meaning we have rather fast-tracked our ceremonies to get the race underway on time.
Yeah, so just coming to the end of the formation lap. The safety car lights are out. They're going to disappear into the pit lane. Coming through our final little bit of chicane, the really fast left-right. It's what I call a proper chicane, actually, not too slow a one. Proper one. Get stuck into it, and it's really important to come out of that fine, because you come out of it well with a good exit into that last corner onto the pit straight. Safety car peels into the pits, and we're ready to start our Prototype Cup Europe Race 1.
Danny Sufi in the black and red machine on the left-hand side. The BWT pink Muka Motorsport of Matthias Pluschkel. We've got Maxim Durex and Zeno Falke in row 2. Maz Larsen and Linus Hellberg row 3. Emil Hellberg and Borishev row 4, and Andrew Ferguson in the car at the back. We head down towards this treacherous turn number 1. We've got 4 wide going into turn number 1 on row 3, and a big lock-up from the outside from one of the Hellbergs. The other Hellberg just about managing not to catch his brother, scuttling off the circuit as well, so losing ground. And that has been a bad start from the number 8 BWT and a good start from the 18 BWT. Lock-up from the very, very stiff and slightly cold tired Zeno Falke in the Larea GT1 Racing red machine. And look, they're still weaving left and right, trying to get some temperature into the tyres. This isn't like yesterday in the middle of the day where we had 40 degrees track temperature. It's a thoroughly pleasant, about 16, 17 degrees air temperature right now.
You mentioned those lockups that you noticed there, and both of them had rear lockups. It was the back end that was locking up, and quite prolonged ones as well. Quite a bit of smoke there from both of those cars. Doesn't seem to have affected the 4th place car quite as much, does it?
And you know what happens when you have a long lock-up? It means a flat spot, it means a vibration, and they then have to carry these tyres all the way through the race. There is no changing. There is a pit stop, of course, because we have plenty of second drivers to get into the car, but there's another big lock-up from the number 49, and I suspect that Zeno Falke is going to be carrying that a long time. It's not the sort of lock-up that's going to clear itself. And interesting to see the 2 Hellbergs with Mads Larsson sandwiched between them. They're in 5th position. That looks like a good little battle as they come through this proper chicane, as Peter Snowden called it. Flick left, flick right, 4th gear. And in these very, very stiff LMP3 machines, must be great, great fun. One of these days, whilst I'm still young, Snowy.
We'll get you back in one, don't worry, Ben.
Well, I mean, the likes of Michael Doppelmayr, for instance, who we've got here, has raced one of these at the Michelin Cup, as we've got Linus Alberg.
Touched his brother on the inside there. Almost a repeat of the Radical incident there, but not quite as dramatic. Just caught it. This is the 43 Linus Helberg in the Alloy racing car. Just managed to catch down the inside, and either it's his brother, isn't it, in the other car?
Yeah.
Didn't get to see him. He was ducking out from the inside of number 18, and just the gap had gone. I'm sorry, that wasn't his corner. He'd got past the other car. Yeah. It was a good overtake, but the corner wasn't then his for his brother.
I think he was intent on passing the the pink machine, and there was a byproduct that Emil was there,
Mads Larsson, yeah.
So I think he did a very, very good job of not knocking the 2 family cars out of the race there.
We had a good go at trying to get, but yeah, sibling rivalry and all that. It was a great overtake on Larsson, the number 18 BWT Mukamoto's entry, as you pointed out, Ben. But unfortunately, at the cost of nearly taking out his brother, Emil, which was not ideal, sort of suboptimal, certainly within a team. And again, it's one of those love to be at the Helberg Christmas lunch and see that conversation.
Well, you are going to put 2 cars on the same part of the circuit, then it's likely to happen, isn't it? It's going to be an investigation into that. Let's have a look at Boris Yonshev here. Oh, no, hang on. That's not Boris Yonshev. That is one of the Helbergs again.
That's one of the Helberg cars, yeah.
So is that a recovering Helberg, or is that a comfortable Helberg? I think that's probably a recovering.
Yeah, but therefore Linus, isn't it? That was coming into the Schumacher S, just lost the back end, had a big moment, twitch and caught it, but had to miss the apex on the right-hand side and dodge over the curb and a little bit through the gravel, so that will pick up bits of debris. And it can do, these super low prototypes can do all sorts of damage underneath as well, so it's not just about losing a bit of track time at that moment, it can do a lot more.
And not a very good start from Matthias Pluchau, who's on the front row, but a cautious first lap. He's dropped behind Maxime Dirix. And now, on the flashes, we saw in qualifying this pink machine in the hands of Matthias, very, very strong. And I think he might be being slightly held up by the Alst Motorsport white machine. We're not going to get a chance to see the livery on this car. It is very curious, the white car, with all kinds of racetracks. And down the inside, Matthias dives into the Dunlop hairpin and makes that move stick. So that's a good move from Matthias, and he can set about chasing down Danny Sufi. Now, Sufi, the American, definitely the stronger of the 2 drivers in the leading car. He shares that number 11 machine with Valentino Catalano. Now, Catalano was strong by the time he got to the end of qualifying, but it took him some time. And Pluchau there was very loose, turning in to the S's at the top of the hill. There is Sufi, 2.6 seconds ahead of now Matthias Pluchau. But what can Matthias do now he's got clean air? I imagine that he'll be equal to Sufi's fastest lap.
Well, he's certainly pushing on, and you say that was a very clear and decisive move down the inside at the hairpin, beautifully executed. And now he sets about catching the Ligier in front of him of Danny Sufi.
Yeah. Confused.
Yeah, because my screen's just changed order at the front.
I don't quite know what happened to Puchshell in that last couple of corners. It feels as though Direct has got closer, or like maybe there was a mistake from the pink machine in the last part of the lap, because he hasn't just disappeared up the road. And look at how close Maxime is getting back onto the tail. Is there a problem for the number 8 machine? On the flashes, Maxime is saying, well, you passed me, so disappear now, please. And he isn't.
Yeah, don't hold up my race, you got the job done. So you say, off you go, but that hasn't happened. It's only 0.5 of a second between them.
I wonder whether we'll get some clarification. I haven't got my sectors up to see exactly what's going on there, but certainly the lap time quite a bit slower than Danny Sufi at the head of the field, and the gap is definitely growing. Further back, Linus Hellberg has been making moves, getting himself back through the field, and this is on the 27 of Andrew Ferguson to the inside at turn number 3. An unusual place to make a move because the circuit then goes right, but he's already...
Yeah, Andrew Ferguson didn't see that coming. He was lucky to catch it at the right moment. He did use his mirrors there because Andrew Ferguson wasn't expecting that Elliott car up the inside, and it was there, so he managed to jink out of its way. So good driving by Alan Ferguson that kind of allowed that overtake to happen, if I'm honest.
Linus, no further action on his little kiss with his brother. And I don't even know that there was actually contact. I'm not sure there's any damage to his car, but there he is. It's a very attractive livery. The family-owned business, Ride Store, as you can see on the left-hand and right-hand wings, actually a company I know very well. I've got a very good friend of mine who used to be their customer services advisor all the way from the French Alps. If you want some ski gear, that's the place to go. Their own brands, Dope and Montec, are direct sellers on the website. Know it very well, and now I know where all the money goes when you buy your ski jacket. Emil and Linus. I'll go down and get myself a deal for next winter. Very attractive livery, and of course, I haven't pointed out yet that we have 3 different types of LMP3 car in the field. Not only do we have a couple of Ducanes and some Ligiers, sort of an equal split of Ducanes and Ligiers, we also have an Ades with the 2 Bulgarian drivers. It's not Lefterov in the car, as our timing screen suggests on the left-hand side there. It is Yonshev, and he will hand over to Lefterov, but I think it's the 2 of them have sort of funded that Ades car. It's a Portuguese brand of LMP3, and it is good to see different types of LMP3 in the only series which is focused purely on the LMP3 category, a one make, if you like. Trying to think, there isn't a one make LMP2 series, is there? Because there's always a GT3 car or an LMP3 car in any other part of that race. So
I think you're right, there isn't.
Yeah, so a sprint championship for these cars is quite rare, and great to develop the drivers because they can focus purely on what they're doing in their car without the distraction of GT3 cars being chicanes and things like that. And this is Emil Hellberg, by the way, so very similar liveries between the 2 Hellberg cars, and they are being and he's being chased by Larson.
No, I've just done a very quick check, and you're absolutely right, Ben. As ever, of course, I didn't doubt you, but there is no dedicated LMP2 series. So maybe we don't need another series. It's good. Use it as a class in a category, in a championship, that's fine. So the gap at the front is now 3.9 seconds for Danny Sufi over Matthias Pluschkel, GMS and BWT Motorsport, and it's a Ligier and a Duquesne at the front there. So it's Ligier, Duquesne, Ligier, Duquesne, Ligier, Duquesne, Ligier, Ligier, Ades is the order at the moment. So alternating pretty consistent there between them. Rounding out our top 3 currently is the Aust Motorsport Ligier of Maxime Drix. Who is currently 2.3 seconds behind our second place man, Matthias Pluschkel.
I should apologise. Ride Store is actually owned by these 2 brothers. It's not owned by the father.
Well, you didn't say that. You said a family business and they're brothers, so you're correct. It's family.
Okay.
You were correct.
All right. I don't apologise then.
Retract that. Yes.
I retract my apology. Emil is the older, and Linus is the younger of the 2 brothers.
Great. Never mind the Christmas dinner conversation. It's going to be a next boardroom meeting, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And they are literally co-directors. With
I'm reducing your racing budget for running into me. Oh, no, you're not. You can just see it, can't you? boardroom matters.
So Sufi still leads, a slight gap reduction to Matthias Pluschkel, but it's still 4.2-ish, and there's only a couple of tenths of a second being separated between them. The Hellbergs running in the 53s and 54s, so quite a big difference in pace. But don't forget, we are going to change drivers. So the two Hellbergs, they don't have teammates, so they'll stay in the cars, and Zeno Falke as well will be in that car in the 49. The rest of the field will be handing over their cars to other drivers, and for the most part are the silver drivers. Andrew Ferguson is a bronze, the Hellbergs are bronzes, but the rest of the entry are all silver rated drivers, which I think basically means they're under 30 years old, doesn't it? Roughly. This is a training ground for drivers to move up, of course, into LMP2 or take their LMP3 cars into the chaos of the Michelin Cup, which, you know, I never feel as though you get that much racing in that. You're really good at following the safety car, because there's just constant safety cars in the championship. But it has calmed down quite a lot, and at the moment the gap's staying pretty stable. Danny Soufli still able to get the fastest laps out of the race, even though we're in lap 7. Best lap of his race, Matthias Pluschkel, but Danny Soufli getting the fastest lap of the race. There is Emil Hellberg in 5th position. As you can see, big gaps. Oh, a little lock-up from Emil, just snatching that again. Snowy looked like, weirdly, going through a left-hander, the right rear snatching. So definitely doesn't quite have the brake balance where he should have it. Let's have a look at the replay, whether that is of this little lock-up. Here we go. Oh no, it was front left, so it was the unloaded inside front. I mean, these are skateboards, aren't they? In terms of stiffness, there's not a lot of suspension.
No, probably not the most comfortable things to be driving, although this is, of course, it's a modern standard Grand Prix track, so it'll be billiard table smooth. Put it on the other part of this track, the old Nordschleife, and you'd probably come back with all your fillings loose. And whatever, you feel very, very, very different. And probably your eyeballs out on stalk driving one of these cars around the Nordschleife.
Surely that's not a thing.
No.
But they do race them, of course, at Sebring, and Sebring's horrible. All fun, depending if you like being bounced around on. Yeah,
probably have to raise the ride height massively like that to run it at Sebring, just to stop it just clattering on the floor all the time and destroying the undertray.
Yeah, exactly. Right, whilst the race has settled down, Danny Soufli leads by, actually a decent margin on that last one, taking out over a second out of Matthias. 5.9 is now the gap. Let's go down and welcome Sarah Esser to our broadcast, and she is chatting with Danny's teammate.
Valentino, I mean, wonderful start here overall this weekend. Good qualifying yesterday. I think you were 4 tenths ahead of the next car on the grid. Good start as well for Danny out here. Stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, Danny's doing a great job to make a distance to P2. He's doing well with managing the tires, so I think we're 5 seconds in front of P2 now. We have to be, because we have one of the longest pit stop times. So yeah, when I jump in the car, I still need to push. So I think we're in a good position now. Let's just hope that the pit stop is working fine, and then I think it will be good.
Tell us more about the importance of having a quick pit stop. It is a mandatory pit stop, and obviously you need to change drivers when there are 2 drivers in the car. But talk about that.
I mean, we have a minimum pit stop time, and it changes because of the driver pairing, and you want to have it as close as possible. You don't want to lose 1 or 2 seconds, because to gain that on track is really difficult. So yeah, we practice it, so I hope it works out. And yeah, we try to do the best pit stop time possible.
Yes, 90 seconds from pit in to pit out, I believe.
90 seconds plus some 20 seconds for us, because we're silver. So yeah, let's see how it will be.
Well, looking forward to seeing you jump in the car very, very soon.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Valentina bringing up an important point that we should cover off relatively shortly, because of course the gaps that are being created here are important because pit stops are of varying lengths depending on your driver categorization. So yes, 90 seconds pit in to pit out as the standard, but depending on whether you're two drivers, single driver, whether you're bronze, that changes things. I'm filling, because I'm trying to give you the specific detail and trying to work out which bulletin has that specific detail within it. Standby caller. In the SRO world, it's always bulletin 1. So you just click bulletin 1 and you know it's there. In this world, it seems to be bulletin 3. So is that the right one? No, that's the wrong championship. Snowy, over to you.
You just need to adapt, don't you, Ben, really? Just because you're used to it in one way. Just can be different championships, probably different bulletins, different places. It's a process. It's a process. Danny Soufi it is that still leads. That gap has gone out from 3 odd seconds to 6.6 seconds now for Matthias Puschkel in the BWT Motorsport entry in the Duqueine. And it's GMS that Danny Soufi is driving for in the Ligier. Third place car is back to a Ligier again, Maxime Drix in his Aust Motorsport car, and Zeno Falca in the Larrea GT1 Racing Duqueine is in 4th place. Kindly put up on the screen for us right now, and just run a little bit wide. It's been very kindly for us, just run a little bit wide, just for a little bit of camera action, and say yes, you can talk about me. Got it back under control though. Maxime Drix is in 3rd position. So 4.1 seconds ahead of, behind Puschkel. Yes, Ben.
The shortest pit stop will be at 95 seconds. So Sarah was correct in that the standard pit stop time is 90 seconds, but nobody has a standard pit stop time because everyone has some kind of extra thing added to it. Success penalty is one thing to consider. Second place in Mugello for Emil Hellberg means he gets an extra 4 seconds success penalty. And the number 3 machine has its 3rd position success penalty, so they get 2 extra seconds. But then Linus Hellberg is a single driver bronze, so he gets an extra 5 seconds, whereas if you're a silver-silver pairing, you get an extra 20 seconds, and if you are a single silver driver, then you get an extra 25 seconds. If you are a bronze-silver pairing, you get an extra 10 seconds, and basically everyone's pit stops are completely different lengths. And yeah, we sort of need a graphic, don't we, to show you what pit stops everyone's going to have, because you could then see what importance these gaps are post pit stop and why some drivers might be pushing harder than others, and others are like, no, chill, doesn't matter because I'm going to get it all back when I come out the stops. So we expect to see the Hellbergs jump up the field post pit stop because they have the shortest pit stops.
So with the lack of a graphic, I'm going to go old school. I'm going to look out the window and look at cars in the pit lane and see how long they stop for.
Well, yeah.
It's not going to work, of course, but that's what we've got for the moment.
It's, I mean, it all plays out. Second half of the race is clear, but it's just that the first half of the race is like, okay, Danny Soufi may lead the race in number 11, but he's got a 20-second pit stop. The 8 that is in 2nd position has also that 20-second extra. So, okay, that gap is going to stay the same, but the number 3 car is going to lose an extra couple of seconds because of its success penalty. And Felke is a single driver, so he is going to lose even more time because he's a single driver and a single silver in comparison to the 3 ahead of them. You're still following, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Emil Hellberg is going to gain a massive amount because he's a bronze and he doesn't have any success penalty. Sorry, he does have success penalty, but he's still going to gain on the guys ahead. Larsson's going to lose out in the 18 because he's a silver-silver pairing, and we're going to see Linus jump up ahead of Larsson. Here he is, because I'm boring myself.
I thought it was a great explanation. I was listening avidly.
It's going to change a lot of things.
Of course.
It's going to change a lot of things. It's going to open in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Those drivers with a weaker driver in the car right now will be taking the window as soon as they can. Everyone has to come in, even the cars with a single driver, but those drivers will simply come in, sit and leave, and there'll be a little fiddle of the tyre pressures as well.
There were certain championships where you had a single driver stuff where they made the driver get out of the car, run round and get back in again, because there was deemed to be an advantage of staying in, belted and comfortable and whatever, whereas the new driver, incoming driver, had to put belts on and whatever, so and so. So some championships did that a while ago, and I did that once. It was absolutely comical to be the only driver in the car. Stop, get out, and you had to switch the engine off, because the other car had to as well if you changed drivers. Sometimes you didn't need to switch the engine off, you were in the car, but you get out, turn it all off, run around, get back in again, and turn it all back on again.
Let's go back down to Sarah. We're about to get the pit window open. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Who have you got for us, Sarah?
Tobias Clausen, good to see you back here. Currently sitting third in the championship at the moment, so an important race weekend for you. Can you tell me, you're minutes out from going in the car. Can you tell me what's going through your mind, and also what have been going on so far in the race for your team?
Yeah, now when I put the helmet on, I'm trying to focus. I think Mattis shows some quite good pace right now, so yeah, we'll see what I can do in the second stint.
Any sectors that you were reviewing data on overnight that you're looking to improve on out here today?
Yeah, of course, we're going through it after the qualifying yesterday, so yeah, I know where to improve and where to get better, so we'll see if I can do that now.
Well, thank you for having a quick chat. You're moments away from jumping in the car. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the window's actually opened earlier than I said, so it's the window is already open. There's already a BWT car in there. That might have been a bit...
Zeno Falco was the first one in, and then Larson in the BWT, as you just said, came in second, and we've got another in right behind that, Ben, which I'm just waiting to look on my screen who that is.
Standing there being very polite and talking to Sarah whilst a car very similar to the one you're about to jump in comes in. Thankfully, it turned out not to be the second place car.
That would be a load of... Am I supposed to be in that? Never mind talking to the pit reporter. Can you actually get in and do your job? Yeah. Get in the car?
Exactly.
That's what you should be talking about after you've done your stint.
So those slower... straight into the pits. The 18 car is going to be taken over by Marcus Pommer, who has the pole position for race 2. So he's basically the fastest guy on the grid, having been a previous champion. So watch out for the 18 car in the second half of the race. Falke is going to have a very long stop. That's the car behind the pink machine, the all-red car. So he's going to leave... Now, yes. So actually still stays ahead of the 18 despite having a longer pit stop. We've got the Odessa in, so Yonshev will hand over to Lefotrov. Saying that wrong. And then Andrew Ferguson has come in the P4 Racing Ligier, and he will hand over to Louis Hamilton-Smith, who we didn't really see anything of because he was in the gravel after one lap in qualifying. Now, the number 3 is in, Maxime Dirix, and he's going to be handing over to Nigel Moore, who said hello to me this morning. And that was interesting, wasn't it? Because I really didn't recognise him, because he doesn't look anything like the Nigel Moore I remember from 7-8 years ago. Remember how Nigel used to be very tall and very, very, very skinny? Mm-hmm. Now he's very tall and very, very, very muscular. And
is it a different Moore?
No, it's definitely
it's the same person still, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, you can just about recognise the old Nigel and the new Nigel, but yeah, it took me a couple of seconds to work out, and very, very, very lovely for him to come up and say hello. So, looking forward to seeing what Nigel can do in that car. We've got 4 more cars that owe us pit stops, including both of the Hellbergs, but Pommer is out, and watch the timing screens light up. Whilst we do, let's go back down to Sarah, who's chatting with another driver.
Mads Larsen, I mean, good stint out there for you, a little bit of work to do for your teammate. Tell us what it's feeling like out on track.
I felt that it was okay. I can feel the track is a little bit more cold today compared to yesterday for the qualifying, so I had to adapt to that. But I think I did quite well out there. No mistakes from my side, so I think it's quite good.
Tell me about the difference in the feeling. You say you can feel it's a little colder. What does that feel like to you as a driver, and what adaptations do you have to make?
Now I can definitely see on my dashboard that there's not that quick time as yesterday, but I could also feel I was struggling a bit more with the car, but maybe that's just driving style.
And tell me a little bit more about that. What do you mean struggling? Is it the steering? Is it the braking?
Yeah, it's a bit more about the steering and how you should take the corner with the... Now I can feel the corner didn't have that high minimum speed as yesterday.
And at Muka have 2 teams in here. How does it work between the teams? Do you share data, or is it quite competitive out there?
No, we share everything with each other. Of course, we want to bring both cars to the top, so no secret is being held.
Well, thank you so much for having a chat, Mads.
You're welcome.
So not a wonderful position to bring the car in for the number 18, but now we've got Marcus Pommer in that car, and he is pushing into the first corner. And looks like he's carrying a lot of speed there. Whoa, gets away with it, but definitely on the edge of adhesion there, Snowy.
I'd love to see an onboard of that and just see the steering angle and correction to fight that and keep control of it. It looked like a proverbial swan on the outside, but on the inside, I'm sure there was an awful lot of work going on there.
If there was a sensor on the buttock clenching, I think there would be a high level of buttock clenching going on into the turn 1. You know?
So the Alloy Racing's Alley Racing Hellberg cars are in, Emil and Linus.
What's the difference then? How do we know which one's which, looking at the livery? I'm not sure there is.
Just with the competition number, I suspect, isn't it? They haven't done it significantly different to tell.
There's a little bit of tape going onto one of those cars. I wonder whether, because, who was it that went through the gravel? Emil, wasn't it? I think
yes.
He may well have done a little bit of damage. So there was possibly a little bit of damage to the splitter of that car. Now, Emil's gone out first. Linus is now going out behind him. So again, pit stops, cycling and shuffling the pack.
Second place in, Matas Prushkel in the BWT car is in second place. Danny Sufi still, our race leader, still owes us a pit stop.
And here we go, jumping in. Gosh, Tobias Clausen is tall, isn't he? I suppose we were seeing him with Sarah a little bit before with the interview, but that's a long frame to get inside an LMP3 car. Luckily, there seems to be enough space, and so we're just then waiting for the final car to come in. The window was open, still got another lap before Danny Sufi needs to come in, but obviously still banging in those lap times, fastest man on
He's running it right to the end, isn't he?
Bigger gaps, yeah, and why not? Here's Linus Hellberg in the 43. Oh, and that was a lock-up down at Dunlop hairpin as well. I wonder if that's because he's had a bit of problem. Yes, he has run deep. Gosh, not only has he run deep, Marcus Pommer's done the same thing again. So they're being dragged in, and I think he's gone over the gravel there. That must have been coming on his outlap.
Yeah, that was Linus, wasn't it?
Yeah,
on his outlap, coming out of the pits.
Literally come out of the pits and just gone long.
Just run a little bit wide. Just hasn't quite reprocessed and recalibrated to get back out onto the track.
So Tobias Clausen then back out onto the racetrack, and
Danny Sufi, our race leader, is in the pits now. Ben,
where has he come out in comparison to the others? There doesn't seem to be any car around him, so may well have held on to second position there. Certainly we said, didn't we, that Nigel Moore in the number 3 was going to lose time. It was whether the Hellbergs were close enough to gain much, and I'm not sure they were. So a change of driver then at the number 11. We're going to get Danny Sufi out, Valentino Catalano into the car, and a bit of a clean of the windscreen. Plenty of time, of course. They aren't doing any tyre change or fueling, so it is a simple bolt of the driver into the car, and plenty of time to make sure that's a safe thing to do. Check the tyre pressures. Invariably, Snowy lets some air out of the tyres usually.
Yes, just because they get a bit over pressure, get a bit hot, and you just want to drop them down a bit so they don't overheat, because the tyre doesn't work as well then. That's the problem. So you've got that opportunity. You can start with a higher tyre pressure to give the car good grip at the start of the race, but that won't last the whole 50 minutes. But knowing you've got a pit stop, you can say that, right, they've got time, drop a bit out. So it's just a bit of engineering competitive advantage is what they're trying to get. So
as you can see then, the driver is being informed here by the mechanic when to leave. because the time is from pit in to pit out. So he then needs to do his maths as to how long he needs to be held for. Here comes Clausen. Now, the two of them were supposed to have exactly the same pit stop time, weren't they? So the gap should be the same. And indeed, the number 11 will come back out onto the circuit as our leader. Clausen will be second, and third position will be Nigel Moore. So no change in the top three. And then the question is, where is Emil Hellberg, who is the first of the Hellbergs? He's jumped up a couple of positions over Falke, who had that long stop and so drops. And then we have to watch Marcus Pommer, don't we, in the 18 machine to see how far he can make his way up through the field. Pit window shut, everyone's done, 22 minutes of racing to go.
There it is, it's a wrap, almost. Apart from the 22 minutes of racing to go, which are fairly important in this.
And don't forget that we do have the 12 hours of Nürburgring, the Michelin 12 hours of Nürburgring on the Creventic channel for you guys to watch. First 6 hours today, just 6. And then tomorrow we do the same again. We have a radical race, we have a prototype cup Europe race, and then another 6 hours of the final 6 hours of the Michelin 12 hours. The penultimate round of the visits for Creventic here in Europe, with Barcelona being the final round, and then the Middle Eastern Championship beginning. And of course that means presumably the Prototype Cup will also be with us in Barcelona. We already know that the Radicals have got extra running, so there'll be even more things to talk about when we go to Barcelona.
The key part of those two 6-hour races is, of course, that overnight the cars go into Parc Fermé, which, as a fluent French speaker, you know, is closed park. Quite literally means the cars are held there. So the state in which they finish that race today, part 1, the cars cannot change one bit. The cars cannot be touched. So you start the part 2 of the race tomorrow on the fuel, the tyres, whatever you had in that car. So literally, it's like you've literally just stopped the race, and then you pick it up again. You can't do anything in between. Correction
on the calendar for the Prototype Cup. Rounds 3 and 4 going elsewhere. They're not going to be in Barcelona with us. They've got races in Italy and Spa.
That was a precision Swiss update, wasn't it?
That was a, yes, precision Swiss update. Thank you, Carla, for facts checking me. Right, let's go down to pit lane. Sarah has our leader after that first stint.
Danny, a wonderful first stint. I was just having a look at your lap times, especially in the back end of the stint. Very consistent.
Yeah, thanks. That's something I train for a lot. I spend a lot of the time on the sim doing consistency runs, and in endurance racing, that's what you need. You know, I mean, if you can match outright pace with consistency, that's how you win races. So no, it was a good stint. I really enjoyed it. The car was good.
And tell us more. So you ran off into the distance. What do you focus on then? Is it more about hitting the lap times? Because obviously you've left most of the field behind.
Yeah, I think it's just all about being next corner focused. You know, every single corner, making sure that you're present, focusing forward, looking where you need to be looking. I've always find that, especially when you're leading the pack, just like focusing on one specific thing kind of helps you work your way through the lap.
And did you say anything to Valentino when you handed over?
Yeah, just a quick update on the car. But I mean, the car was good, so I told him just go have fun.
And what was that update on the car?
Just a bit of understeer, but the car is still really good, really fast. I mean, we had a 10-second lead, so I'm happy with that.
Well, you're in a very good position. Let's hope you can take it to the flag.
Sorry?
I said you're in a very good position. Let's hope you can take it to the flag.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Danny Sufi, one of the fastest men out on the circuit this weekend. And of course, these guys may well be faster, as we saw from qualifying, but they've been given cars that have been half a race in, and tyres that have been half a race used, and so we're not seeing those green sectors that I was expecting to see, particularly from Marcus Pommer, down in 6th position, and Snowy not really making a mammoth amount of progress right now. Last lap, just about in the 52s, but the guys ahead are comfortably in the 52s.
Yes, and that's but it's settled down, shake into it. There's still 18 minutes to go, which I know sounds really silly, but that will evaporate really quite quickly, as in 18 will become 15 and become 12, and we're suddenly almost into the last stages of the race. I know that sounds an odd thing to say, but you think you've got a lot of time when you haven't. In the car, it probably feels that you have, because It is fairly warm out there. It won't be the most comfortable cars to drive, an LMP3 car around here, although the track, as we've said, is super smooth. So they'll be good from that point of view.
I'm wondering where the next battle is going to come. I think Nigel Moore is going to be closing down.
I was going to say Nigel Moore is at 2.5 seconds behind Clausen, isn't he? In Tobias Billy Clausen in second place. So nationality-wise, we've got German, Swiss, and British in the top 3, and then Swedish. 2 Germans, Swedish again. The other Hellberg, Linus, and Louis Hamilton-Smith, and Pavel Lefterov, and I can't decipher what flag nationality that is.
Where are we?
Pavel Lefterov in the purple
Bulgarian.
sector.
Yeah, it's Bulgarian.
Bulgarian.
Yep.
I think it said Hungarian. I'm thinking, is it?
No, it's not Hungarian. Bulgarian.
No, that's why I looked at you quizzically.
Oi, Nigel Moore. Just going a little bit wide through the left and right. And that is one curve. We were talking yesterday about curves you can use and curves you can't use in prototypes, so the radicals and also in the Prototype Cup. Look how low these things are. They are really kissing the ground.
That's one you can't use.
Don't use that one.
But Nigel did.
Yeah, you could just about, if you're in a GT3 car that's bopped, so it's got a really high ride height, then maybe. But it's still a sort of old school height.
Was that the definition of more curb?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's a sort of a slightly weak first attempt.
Okay. Thanks. It's not a good first stint.
Not a good
Try
first
harder.
stint. Yeah, it's an average lap time.
At least you didn't say box. That's fine.
48 there we're watching is Emil Hellberg. Now, how is his pace? He's obviously not as fast as Nigel Moore, but I wonder whether Zeno Falco is going to be closing down on him. Yeah, 3.2 seconds is the gap.
Perhaps you should use that curb then, like Nigel did.
Yeah,
perhaps there's something in it, because we're saying here, so don't use it, but he did, and it wasn't a question of getting away with it. It seemed almost deliberate, and he knew what he was doing. Very experienced driver, Nigel Moore.
Yes, okay, fine, but if it puts a hole in the floor of your car, possibly not so advisable.
If being the operative word there.
As a racing driver, you're like, yeah, but it's faster.
Exactly.
So I'm going to do it anyway. You sort out the car.
What do you mean I'm going to do it? I've done it already.
Yeah. I don't think it's a good one to use. And it is interesting that there are, particularly around the Nordschleife, there are those curves that are still really old school, that are really still very acute, that you shouldn't really touch. Here, of course, final corner, flat curb, concrete, run it out wide, no problems whatsoever. And through the Mercedes arena that we're in right now, also all the curbs can be crawled all over. But as soon as you get out of the Mercedes arena, there is still a couple of short, aggressive, steep curbs that are less advisable to use. Look, we've got second and third now in the same camera shot. That's exciting. Nigel Moore is closing in. Nigel's pushing, isn't he? Really feel as though it's a little bit scrappy into the first turn, and Nigel Moore on those. You know how you're saying it was smooth? There's a horrible bump in the braking zone going into turn number 1, and Nigel Moore just snatching a brake and then snatching another brake. I wonder if that's a flat spotted
pressing
tyre
on,
he's
isn't
now
he?
Working on.
Yeah, I noticed that when he came out of the hairpin there, a little twitch there might be a result of just locking up that front right going in. A little bit of a flat spot, not helping. You say you can get vibration and stuff from that. It just makes the car even more difficult to drive.
Well, the main thing is how the wheel tends to track. Oh, Nigel running wide there and scrabbling over the curb and a little bit more. Were they here? Were they at the opening round? I can't. The website doesn't seem to be opening for me, so I can't check whether they were in Mugello. And as both you and I weren't there, don't remember. But Nigel has been doing a few other things in GT racing. I wonder how much experience, recent experience he's got in LMP3. Of course, has raced at Le Mans. at the Le Mans 24-hour race.
Oh, and we've got a spin there. Nigel Moore so nearly collected the BWT.
Clausen spins as Nigel Moore locks up again into turn number 1.
Well, he kind of had to, didn't he, to avoid it?
I mean, that was complete. We'll see a replay in a second, but that seems very, very odd. Completely lost it on his own. And now Nigel needs to just nurse his number 3 home in that second position. Because obviously Tobias was at the very edge of his pace comfort there and just loops it around. They were losing time to JMS with Valentino Catalano extending his advantage. And so Clausen dropping to 3rd, luckily not being losing too much more than that. He's actually recovered quite well here. Let's have a look at this replay. Snowy.
Yeah, I think he's just lost the back end. So it just kept rotating, hasn't it? So it hasn't even locked up. It's just kept rotating. No tyre smoke, no anything. Just round it goes for Tobias Clausen.
Well, that view shows he's a little bit offline. He's turned in slightly late.
So whether he's got on a little bit of marbles or debris or something, I think it's just almost a change of surface there, because it's certainly nothing to do with the car. It just caught him unawares, and he went around very neatly. And even before the thing had stopped rotating, he'd got it wheel spinning and obviously selected the correct gear to get going again. But a bit of a heart-in-mouth moment there for Nigel Moore as he approached that. He would have seen that unfold because he was only 2 or 3 car lengths behind on the pit straight, so he would have had the advantage of seeing it unfolding for him neatly in front and able to take some avoiding action. But there's always a danger there of, I was taught years ago by the British racing legend Jerry Marshall, when in early days, of when a car spins in front of you, always go where it's come from.
Yep.
Which Nigel Moore didn't do there, because it went from the right, so you'd have gone to the right as it's going to spin out to the left, but they can bite and pick up again, and Nigel Moore read that perfectly, went to the left-hand side, but of course cars can change dynamics in the middle of a spin and suddenly catch and flick another way, and that's when you can get caught out, and it ends up being really quite expensive.
Catalano with a little bit of traffic, passing Pavel Lefterov, who is 45 seconds off the back of his nearest challenger. So the Ades with still some development. I noticed there's a second one in the paddock, so they've got 2 built. And always nice to have a little bit of variety. Am I imagining things that Ginetta still have an LMP3 car?
I think they did,
certainly used to.
Certainly did used to, yeah.
Bit of smoke there lingering down at the Dunlop hairpin. I think that may have been a lock-up from Emil Hellberg. There's a lot of locking up going on, quite surprisingly. And I wonder whether they have slightly misinterpreted the temperatures of the racetrack, which is much cooler than when they were qualifying. We now have a look at Marcus Pommer, who, by the way, has not made any positions up yet. Still in 6th position, but Zino Falke and Emil Hellberg are within striking distance now. 2.7 to Falke, another 2.7 to Hellberg. He can see his targets. Can he get up to 4th position by the end of the race? 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. There is Falke, who is really, really strong and almost had a car that was set up in qualifying to come on right at the end of the session. Didn't see anything from it in both qualifying sessions. Remember, he's one of those drivers that doesn't have a teammate. Both qualifying sessions, he set his last best lap time right at the end of each session. And that, I wonder whether that will play dividends in the race, where he also has that similar philosophy of the car not losing out at the end. So Falke is closing in on Emil Hellberg, and Pommer is closing in on the 2 of them. And we're going to have an interesting little fight for 4th position come the end. Again, lap time's way, way off where we were at the start of the race. So our Michelin tyre not quite giving the same grip, even if the weight of the cars will be going down every lap as fuel is used. The last lap times are about 2 seconds off where they were able to be at the very beginning. Here is Emil Hellberg, 6.1 seconds off Tobias, who is actually one of the slowest cars out on circuit. Only on the last lap, Linus was slower, which is quite interesting, actually, that Linus has dropped away in the second half of this race quite significantly. He was able to keep pace with Emil in the first part, but not now. 8 minutes remaining.
As I said, I'm going to make a really obvious statement now, Ben. As I said a few minutes ago, think about what I just said there, when there were 18 minutes to go, that will suddenly evaporate. Well, it's less than half now. It's only just over under 8 minutes to go. And I did say that would strangely disappear. We suddenly seem to be talking with quite a bit of the race to go, and all of a sudden we're into the last few minutes of it. It's a 19-second advantage for Valentino Catalano over Nigel Moore currently. We now have 2 Ligiers at the head of the field. We had them alternating between brands there of Ligier, Duquesne, but that's now turned around completely. 2 Ligiers at the front. Nigel Moore in the Aust Motorsport entry. Nigel, I think, was drafted in for this particular race as, I believe, the team owner is getting married this weekend. So he's that's why Nigel's been drafted in for this one-off round. Emil Hellberg it is, that's in 4th place, just offside off the podium, as it were, at the moment, but 6.5 seconds off that position. He's under a little bit of threat from the 5th place man of Zinu Falca in the Larea GT1 Racing Duquesne, who is just 1.6 seconds behind Emil Hellberg. Marcus Pommer is in 6th position in the other BWT Muka car, and Linus Hellberg, brother of Emil, is in 7th position. Louis Hamilton-Smith in the P4 Racing entry is 8th, and Pavel Lefterov rounds out the top 9 in the purple sector entry in the 3rd chassis in this race, the Ades AD 25.
It's hotting up for 4th position. 5 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. It's going to be a couple of laps, maybe 3. And here is, wow, big twitch from Falke in the second of the 3 cars in that battle for 4th. The red Duquesne. Emil Hellberg, the leading of the 3 in that 4th position in the Ligier, and then Marcus Pommer, who's closed down the gap. And we expect to see Marcus a bit further up. It was a pretty not slow, it's not fair, but Mads Larsen wasn't really able to make too much progress in the first parts of the race, and has handed the car over to Marcus Pommer, down in 6th. And Pommer now, obviously being one of the faster cars out on circuit, by the way, still nowhere near the pace of Valentino Catalano at the head of the field. The gap now 20 seconds. He is able to lap sometimes a second faster than anybody else. It's absolutely remarkable from Valentino. We saw the same with Danny Sufi. So JMS have done an incredible job with that car. We heard from Danny earlier.
A little dive down the inside there for Zino Falca on Emil Hellberg. Didn't quite pull it off, but I said that might not happen. That's now put Pommer right into position as well. So the 3 of them battling for this position. 0.9, 0.7 of the second to them as they cross the line. But Emil Hellberg under threat from not 1 but 2 LMP3 cars right behind him.
Again, a massive slide from Falke through the final chicane. Saw that last time through, and I wonder whether he's really asking the end of his tyres on the flashes for Marcus Pommer. This is for 5th position. They've given Emil Hellberg a little bit of breathing space. Pommer goes right to the inside line, disappearing out of the mirrors of Dino Falke, but Falke is not playing that game. Luckily, not distracted by the disappearance of the pink car behind, able to pick up the apex into turn number 1. And it therefore stays status quo, but look at how he struggles. These changes of direction, Snowy, the accelerations in and out of the turns. Felke is really, really struggling.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with your analysis there of the tyres. The car is, it's obviously got its straight line speed still. We can see that. It's literally absolutely visual when we look at the bits of television screen that we get to see as well. But in terms of describing that, it's so much slower through the technical bits. It's not a question of the car's loose or whatever. He's having to slow the car completely to allow for that tyre wear to take the car very steadily through the corners, and that is costing us. He's doing a great job driving that on a difficult tyre wear situation.
This time through the final part of the lap, though, it does look as though Felke is stronger. He's settling himself in to close down Hellberg. That's got to be his focus, hasn't it? He's got the opportunity to grab 4th position here. All of this, by the way, they are still closing in on Tobias Clausen in 3rd spot, but there won't be enough time to make that change. Felke down through the flat-out kink and then up towards the final
penultimate lap, I'm going to say, Ben, I think.
Watch the red car. He was really struggling through these final turns. Again, there's that big twitch 3 times in a row now through the change of direction. The car just says no, and then that compromises his through the final turn.
I was just going to say exactly that. That's exactly where he didn't want that twitch there. He wanted that car to be stable there to get a good clear run through the last corner onto the pit straight. Good exit speed. He could have then had a little run down the inside, maybe, or at least put the car in the mirrors. That's compromised any opportunity for him to get through. But of course, it's put Palmer even closer.
He needs, as you say, the biggest overtaking opportunity is that first turn. It just doesn't stick, does it? That rear left just doesn't want to play. That's presumably getting a lot of stick around this track.
Yeah, absolutely. It loses the rear end, which then causes a bit of snap oversteer, which is then got to lift out of the throttle and catch it, which did a great job of doing, but of course it takes up a load of time and loses you on the stopwatch. Frustrating, and a great save, I would say, there.
Now, not many opportunities for overtaking. A good chance is down at the hairpin. Hellberg moves to the middle of the road to sort of feint a defence, but you can brake so late into there that the braking area is so small.
Hellberg really slow, backing them all the way up through there, through the hairpin. Absolutely right thing to do, but literally backing them up because he knows his tyres are in trouble behind him, so he's just backing up for the fast bits coming. He knows he can't do any advantage there. Clever driving by Emil Hellberg.
Surprised to see that Marcus Palmer really isn't making or taking any opportunities from the mistakes from Felke ahead. He's really in a compromised position. Hellberg slow though as they go down the hill. There is an overlap, but it's not very much. Is there space for down the inside of Hellberg? Yes, there is. Is Hellberg going to lose 2 positions here? And now here comes Palmer past, and no,
that's what he was waiting for.
To second. It is the last lap as well, so Felke should hold on to 4th. Oh, just momentum out of one single corner. And the Swedish driver goes from 4th down to 6th position. We're on the last lap. There's one more lap to go for these guys. So Palmer still could get himself up into 4th position. And the best opportunity is here into turn number 1. He moves to the inside line, but he's not close enough. That's more of a distraction for Felke.
I would say Marcus Palmer isn't done yet. He's going to try and get that position and be. It's not quite for the podium. That's currently decided. Valentina Catalano, Nigel Moore and Tobias Clausen are in those positions currently. That can, of course, change. The race is not over until the checker flag. But Felke is now going to come under pressure from Marcus Palmer. You said a few moments ago you thought Palmer surprised he hadn't taken advantage. I think he was sitting and watching and waiting and playing a waiting game there for things to happen. And the moment Hellberg faltered, he just took advantage of it.
Yeah, but can he get past Felke? Because it was an opportunity to get past Felke.
Hellberg run a bit wide there. He's really in trouble now, Hellberg, on this last couple of laps.
I think they have limited experience around this circuit. They've started on a cold track. They've now got a really warm track. But way, way, way up the road is Team JMS on the pit wall, Danny Sufi, and it is Valentino Catalano who takes the victory here at the Nürburgring. 25 seconds to the good over the Aust Motorsport machine. And is that a puncture, perhaps, at the very end of the race for one of the Hellbergs? I think it may well be. There's drama all over the place. Here is Zino Falke still holding on to 4th position ahead of Marcus Pommer, waiting to get Nigel Moore across the line in 2nd position. And I think Falke's got enough space to hold on to that 4th spot. Moore gets 2nd. He comes over the line now in front of us. There won't be a change unless Zino Falke makes a mistake. He's careful through the final turn. Tobias Clausen takes 3rd spot, and it will be Zino Falke who is going to take 4th position and hold off Marcus Pommer. A really entertaining battle between the two of them. But look, there is no Hellberg behind, and I'm worried as to whether Emil Hellberg has a problem. There's Pommer, slightly wide, and Hellberg is locked up, and he has gone through the gravel, rattled his way through the gravel down at the Dunlop curve. And what we picked up then was him getting back onto the circuit, but it still looks to me as though that front right is a bit low.
He didn't just go off the circuit, he nearly went into Spa, didn't he?
A 2 minutes and 8 second lap from Emil Hellberg, a slow lap from Linus as well, and they end up in 6th and 7th spots.
Yeah, it's 20 seconds slower, isn't it, virtually? That's what that run through the gravel's taking, a little trip to the beach.
Yeah, but even Linus was really slow on the last lap, and ended up just 0.4 of a second in front of the P4 Racing Ligier. Well, that ended up climaxing nicely,
as we predicted it would do. A strong, convincing victory of what, some 27 seconds for Valentino Catalano.
It was the consistency of pace in the second part of the race where he continued to stay in the 52s and everybody else was in the 53s and 54s. GMS had definitely got a car there that was able to last the distance. And I think you could see that the Hellbergs and LA Racing and Zino Falke with his Larea GT1 Racing were struggling to get their cars to the end.
Yeah, and I've got to say also, Valentino Catalano, great win, 27 seconds, convincing, decisive, job done. But a great drive from Nigel Moore, being drafted in and not having driven one of these before this season. Says a lot about a great position there, 2nd for him.
Yeah. I mean, talent doesn't go away, right? He was always incredibly talented.
I don't know, I never had any, so I don't understand the concept.
He was always a very talented driver as a young driver, tipped to be the next Lewis Hamilton, of course, when Lewis was winning the championship. But he ends up 2nd, 27.5 seconds behind Catalano and Sufi. Tobias Clausen, despite the spin, holding on to 3rd position for BWT Muka Motorsport and the number 8 machine, with Zino Falke in the end getting up to 4th ahead of the Hellberg, but holding off Marcus Pommer to the end of the race, and the 18 machine finishing in 5th. Emil Hellberg beating Linus Hellberg for 6th and 7th spot. But problems for both of those guys right at the end, meaning Lewis Hamilton Smith was right on the tail of Linus as they came to the line. The final car in our 9-car field was the Ades of Pavel Lefterov and Boris Yonshev, and they ended up in 9th. Let's go down to Sarah then, who has got our winners.
Congratulations, I mean, what a dominance from start to finish.
Thank you very much. It was an amazing race. The car was mega, so GMS did a mega job with the car. I felt really comfortable. At the end it got tricky because the tires were really worn, but I think the pace was still good. Danny did an awesome job in the first stint, so my life was a bit easier in the second stint. So yeah, really happy with the result, with the win, especially for the championship. We gained some points, and yeah, we're hunting for more.
Very, very valuable points. Definitely hunting to more. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Rest well and celebrate well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, a race tomorrow and an opportunity to do that all over again. And you have to say, the strength of those two drivers, that is very possible. Let's go back down to Sarah, who's got more interviews.
Well, it was a good stint from you, You don't want to speak, Nigel? I'll speak to Maxime. Both of you stay here. Why don't you both stay here? The camera's behind you, so do a little twirl for me. Spin around. The camera's just here. Well, a good race out there. Some valuable points for you in the championship, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great start, great getaway. Struggling a bit, trying to keep up with the other guys. Then gave the steering wheel to Nigel and let him run.
Well, Nigel, you jumped in for this race. Can you give us a bit of an insight? Some of the cars were struggling with locking up. Tell us what it was like out there on track.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit. Initially we turned over all right, but as the weekend's gone on, we've not really improved as much as we need to. We've got a bit of work to do, but great to drive with Max. Enjoyed the first race with him, hopefully many more. P2 is a good first one.
And I hear your team manager's getting married today. Any words?
Yeah, yesterday, so congratulations to Martin Ippy.
Well, we'll see you up on the podium. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Nice to see Nigel Moore, and congratulations to the team manager for his marriage. I'm hoping he's not watching today, but you know, motorsport people, as my wife would say. And they're going to head up to the podium. A couple of different podiums, of course, because we've got juniors and different classifications within the classification, of course. And good to see all the cars getting to the end as well. So mechanics and teams, not a huge amount of work to do before they go racing again tomorrow. Can have a nice afternoon in the sun here at the Nürburgring. Nine cars in Prototype Cup Europe, race number 1, the second weekend of the year for them. And already some tyre build-up issues at the beginning of the race, lots of lock-ups from these stiff LMP1 machines. That was the first drama, the two Hellbergs nearly knocking each other out of the race, and Linus getting a bit loose around the circuit. It meant that he had to get himself back up through the field after the first lap incident. Pit stops would shake up the field, with some making pit stops shorter than others. But ultimately at the head of the field, it's pretty simple. It was JMS making a gap over the number 3 of Alst Motorsport. A spin from Tobias Clausen, and that drops him from second down to third position. But at the head of the field, Valentino Calatina, an incredibly strong drive, 20 seconds to the good over everyone else. And so the podium's ready. Let's get it going.
The Prototype Cup Europe podium for the race 1 here at the Nürburgring. So to congratulate our podium, first of all, BWT Muka Motorsport, Tobias Clausen and Matthias Pluschker. And in second we have Alst Motorsport, Nigel Moore and Maxime Dirks. And our winners for race 1, please make some noise and put your hands together. Valentino Catalano and Danny Sufi. And make some more noise for our junior winner, Valentino Catalano. And for our trophy winner from Alley Racing, Emil Hellberg. Now time for the national anthem of our winning team. Make some noise for our podium. Well, we also will welcome to the stage our team representative from GMS, Carl Jennings. And to present the trophies, we have Thomas Ambiel from Ambiel AI and Julian Panizza from Michelin. And trophies being presented to our third place, Tobias Clausen and Mattis Plushkel. In second place, came into the weekend leading the championship, Maxime Dirks added some valuable points there alongside Nigel Moore, who has stepped in for this weekend. A massive congratulations to their team manager as well, who got married yesterday. And again, to our winners, Valentino Catalano and Danny Sufi. GMS team from Germany and their team representative here, Carl Jennings. If you can all lift your trophies nice and high, big smiles for the camera. If you can lift all your trophies one more time. And it is. Okay, last time, let's lift all those trophies. Big smiles for the cameras. And it is time to celebrate. Grab those bottles of champagne and enjoy the celebrations.
Sorry, Sarah. You want a new one? No, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right.
Should we go down here? Well, thank you for joining us for race number 1 for the Prototype Cup. We will be back tomorrow for race number 2, but don't go anywhere. We've got lots of racing coming up. Switch over. Lots of celebrations going on as well. Switch over to watch the start of the 12 hours of the Nürburgring coming up shortly.
Aqui é só pentada,
Toma, vai safada.